Well, hello, fans, friends, Ian, Emily.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 40 of The Companion to the Companion, a podcast where Ian and I, and tonight a special guest for part of it, discuss the top 100 Phish shows in the Phish Companion. And tonight we are discussing the first of two nights at the Clifford Ball. It is 8/16/96 in, what part of New York? Plattsburgh, New York? Plattsburgh, up in northern New York, right near the lake, across from Vermont, so pretty close to their home. And Ian and I are welcoming a very special guest tonight. Neither of us were at this festival, although I got to make the 97 and 98 festivals. And I've invited Emily, who was at both nights, camped there, did the whole experience, and she's going to tell us some tales about the adventure. Hello.
Hi, I'm also your wife.
Oh, yes, she's my wife. And we've seen a lot of shows. Oh, everyone who listens to this podcast knows who you are at this point.
Yeah, you are mentioned quite a bit, but still always nice to have a designator. I think that was perfect.
That's how I introduce myself in public. Yes, I'm his wife.
Well, in Phish-related context, sometimes. But this was a Phish-related context where you were not my wife. Mm-mm. You were not my girlfriend. Mm-mm. You were living your best Phish life on your own. So you're here to set the stage a little bit for us on this show that, from what I've read, and I think Ian agrees, everyone who was there says was amazing, life-changing, and for those of us that weren't, it's kind of it's all right. So sell us on the life-changing.
Well, I'd like to throw just a couple things in real quick. First of all, I don't need to be sold at all, although I do look forward to hearing what you have to say, because it does seem, to me, like the most idyllic and utopia-esque of all the Phish events. The least tainted with any sort of negativity or critique. It just seemed to be so pure. And I hope that's what you're going to relay back to me, but I'm ready to take the hit. Beyond that, just to address the beginning, I was having kind of dramatic flashbacks of all the times that I improperly or forgot to introduce my wife in social situations. God, I'm terrible at that. I was really just like watching you two on the screen. It was like watching one of those movies where you're like, oh man, I've made that mistake so many times. So yeah, we got to be better about that. Sam, we're good friends.
Yeah, I have a chef friend who insults me every time I say the word my wife. He goes, "You mean Emily that I know and I've met?"
It could go the other way as well.
Yeah,
you never know what to say. Okay, well, let's talk about Phish.
Yeah, my first question is, set the scene. I mean, you were 19. You were, well, just freshly 20, just freshly 19, and single. And it was
You think I was single. You don't really know.
It was a $25 ticket for the whole weekend,
wow,
which is amazing. There were 70,000 people, the biggest Phish show that had ever existed up to that point. And they built something special. So I kind of give us the color.
Sure. Well, let me start by saying this was almost 30 years ago. And unlike the both of you, I don't and haven't stayed in my Phish life. So for me, this was probably over the crest of my fandom. So I had started liking them in 1992. And by 96, a lot of my Phish experiences had already been happening. I kept going. But I'm just thinking in the course of my Phish life, I was pretty seasoned at this point. I'd listened along for several years and I'd been to several shows, which you all have done a great job going back to some of them. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to say that because I don't want to be held accountable for any mistakes about what I might be remembering, both because it was a long time ago, and of course there was a lot of partaking of substances for everyone involved at this show. So just put that in your footnotes.
Oh, we're all about mistakes. That's what we do here.
Yeah, so the first thing I think is true is it was at an airport in Plattsburgh. Yeah. An abandoned one, so there wasn't any airportishness other than the tarmac, which was really quite dramatic because just picture, I guess, 100,000 cars maybe, or vehicles and vendors and stuff all taking this huge empty space and just converging in all of our, 80s and 70s vehicles at the time. So it was a blank slate for sure. And my friend and I, who enjoyed the whole experience together, liked to be early. So we were kind of really early into this space, and I don't even remember that there was a stage set up when we arrived. They were just kind of allowing everyone to set up their spots because we were camping. There was no woods or anything. It was just a big open space.
Hot.
It was nice. I mean, it's upstate New York,
Yeah.
you know, in August, and I guess you could get a hot day. It wasn't rainy at any point that I remember. Yeah, so the weather was really nice the whole time.
Well, you also missed one of your big pieces of credits that you went to UVM and you graduated from there. So you were attending UVM at this time. Your friend is probably out seeing Phish, you know, way beyond me that you went with as well.
Yeah.
And you lived right on the other side of the lake, Lake Champlain. So you were just right on the other side, and it probably felt like home.
It did, yeah. And the easiest way to get to Plattsburgh is to take a ferry. So it's much more convenient to take a boat to get to that town than it is to drive there from New England. We didn't do that because it's not a car ferry, but we had done it once before. And I just remember that trip. I'm in no way related to the show. It was before it. We took the ferry and we got off, and all there was a mall. That was Plattsburgh. It's like that's all you could go to is you take this beautiful boat ride across the 6th Great Lake and you just end up at a mall. So that was the other Plattsburgh experience that gave me very low expectations for the actual town, which the town itself was really not that exciting.
Yeah. Well, I think the band would feel at home too, being from Burlington and having it feel right across the lake. And yeah, I think that added, the band in their recollection of the show experienced nothing but joy, it seems. And you can kind of see it in the video. And so I'm glad it felt like home for you too. So musically, you've kind of staked out your position as this was a little past your Fishdom, and I know post this point, we don't listen to Phish together much, and you're over that part. But musically, did the show itself stand out to you in any way, song or by song, or was it the spectacle that stood out a little bit? I know there was a classical, band prior to night one, I think it was. Did you catch the flatbread bed truck in the middle of 3 a.m. on the end of the first night? Did the fireworks, was it that the display of all the craziness kind of resonate with you long term more than the music itself?
Yeah, although there was always music, it felt like. So it wasn't like you were seeing, a flatbed truck go by with nothing going on, or you wouldn't, like, I just remember too, like, ginormous bubbles, like, most of the time. And, just like, I don't know, it must have been those, great people who can make bubbles with string and a stick. So it was, compared to other concerts in general that you and I usually have gone to together, it was pure, I guess is a good word. Like everything, Phish can be goofy and playful, like New Year's with the hot dog and all of those sort of, I won't call them gimmicks, but like over the top, silly, like,
gimmicks,
So this was just like innocent. Like if it would be like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but without that like creepy vibe that all the Charlie and the Chocolate Factories have had.
Yeah.
There was no bad guy. There was no, there was no strong police presence. I don't think I ever remember seeing anything like that. I believe like one person got a little bit hurt near me at one point, but it was just like food poisoning. And it was so discreet and so non-obtrusive, like handling anything that was happening, which has not been the case at a lot of concerts I've been to.
Yeah.
But as far as sort of thinking about the ambiance versus the music, it was day and night too, which was kind of the sense of time and space was really strange because, well, there were drugs, but also, I think, and you'll know this way better than me, but I remember them like spontaneously playing during the day at one point, which nobody knew was going to happen. So then you just kind of made your way towards where they were playing, but you could hear the show from anywhere.
Yeah.
It was just the usual echo and like delay. I was awake for the flatbed truck because it was very difficult to sleep at this event because people were having a good time and tents were close together. So there was no quiet time at any point in the whole time. But obviously there was like, what's that sound? Like, and then people getting out of their tents and looking, and then like there's a band going by on a truck and you know what band it is. So it was just fun and simple with the usual amount of discomfort as far as like, where do you go to the bathroom and where's the food going to come from? And is everything okay in that tent next to you? But nothing went badly.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus from everybody. Did they build a city? Was there an art installation? Did you ever walk through any of those?
I just remember like there was no gate. That was so strange because you used to having to like kind of funnel through, but it was just open. So like you could come at it from whatever way you wanted. I remember almost like a fence or a border that was all murals, sort of to kind of keep it from everyone going behind the stage.
Yeah.
But I don't remember like navigating. I'm a homebody, so I kind of stuck to my tent unless there was a reason to go. Because there was a lot of people, and you could get lost. Like, you just get lost because there's no landmarks.
And you were just with one friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made friends. Of course, you always do, right? Like, people near you. So I didn't explore too much. I just kind of stayed together with my buddy.
Yeah. Great.
How about musical? It was a long time ago, like you said, 30 years. I wouldn't expect you to remember any like standout performances, but do you remember like the fireworks at the end with the Harry Hood and all that? That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. And again, you could just be anywhere and listen and see. So it's not like, you were not able to catch anything that was happening. And I do remember that it was just so joyful. Like it was, like it's kind of magical. You're not usually ever in a place where you're hearing something. Like you can go to fireworks, but there's no great concert happening and you're not like comfy in your sleeping bag when that's happening. So it was pretty nice to just be kind of like doing your thing. And then all of a sudden this beautiful sound and visual was happening.
Yeah.
I don't remember too much about music. I was never a very good fan as far as like loving. And I think you guys can correct me. I'm pretty sure this wasn't a very jammy concert, which is great for me because I don't.
It was tight. A lot of great songs.
Yeah.
There were a lot of your favorites, and they were well played.
Yeah.
You'd enjoy a re-listen of this. It was fun.
Yeah. So that was a real gift for me because I did like songs played according to the album and not a lot of long improvisation.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of darkness crept into the Phish scene. We briefly spoke before recording. I see these shows as the demarcation line between two Fishes. The more that I listen to it, the more that this is the line. Fall 96 was the new Phish, or they were becoming the new Phish, and this was the line for a number of reasons. But I think it also is the demarcation line of just happy, fun young people. I like, the Went and the Lemon Wheel it was dark and dirty in some parts. And, the New Year's 99. All these big festival shows, there was a lot more pills, a lot more hard drugs, a lot more kind of like, it was less, fun college hippie whitecaps and more dark wooks. And it was a little scarier and a little harder. I mean, maybe my perspective was I was leaning that way during that time too. Less youthful and more ragged in some of the festivals. And this was, from what it looks like in the videos and your telling, was just a very happy event. And the band is glowing a lot too. There's a lot of smiles. It's really, really great.
I agree too, because I think just in my own Phish experience, I think shows became in the latter half of the 90s, and I think I was done by 2000 or before. Like there was sort of more of a greed to everything. Like people were making things and selling them, and people were selling tickets to make money. Like all of that got more obvious and a little bit more a priority almost. And I just remember like at this show, you didn't need money. Like everybody's bartering things or
$25 for the whole weekend.
Yeah. Like it's just, you just showed up with what you had, and hopefully you could like my friend and I were making friendship bracelets, and that's how we got food. Like it was that's the other version of pure. Like you just didn't need to like deal in that way that I feel like Phish became as a fan. A lot of like getting stuff in the parking lot and selling tickets and scalping tickets and all that stuff.
That's an excellent point. And I think you made me reflect on my own experience, and I think that's true. I went to Vegas 96 and Vegas 97, and I think about like the mood and the vibe at those two shows were so insanely different.
Yeah.
So what a difference a year can make.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think post Grateful Dead too, it took a while. There was a groundswell of kind of grody that fell off that bus and climbed onto the Phish bus, and I think Phish did their best to keep their heads down and stay away from it. I don't think they were looking for fans, but I think they did want to just kind of put on this was Amy's Farm on steroids. And
Right.
they wanted their friends sort of vibe outside, just instead of for 1,700 people, it was for 70,000, which, the fact that you said I don't know if there were deaths. I know there's always the freak out tent where they're like keeping an eye on kids, but I bet it was a pretty safe event. Yeah. I don't know the numbers, but it seems like it was good vibes.
It was even nice leaving. Like, we didn't trash the place.
Yeah.
Like I remember, because we were also one of the last to leave, first to come, last to go. And just looking back and almost going like, did that really happen? Like, wow. Yeah. Because everything disappeared. Like, the stage was gone. Obviously the band was gone before everybody, but like, we really did left it the way we found it. And I say that for however many tens of thousands of people and a whole band could do.
Yeah. That's great.
Well, I'm jealous of your experience, but I guess I shouldn't be, since you can't remember a lot of it. You just have a general feeling of well-being. Just out of curiosity, I know you, like you said, you were more kind of going to Phish for other than necessarily musical reasons, but did you have a standout show in your tenure of going to shows that was kind of like, that was a special night? Or perhaps it was this, just because of the experience. I don't know.
I wouldn't say it was this. I'm sorry. I know it seems like it's like a really big
no.
But like I said, like I had a really good run for my short time being a fan compared to you two and a lot of people. But my most memorable show was I'm not even gonna know. Like, it was in Boston and it was a New Year's.
Okay, that's helpful.
Anyone know what year that was?
Well, was it 96 with me and Amanda?
Yeah,
okay.
that one.
96.
Yeah, that one.
That was just 6 months after this. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that one
5 months
was a much more for me musically focused show. Maybe because you were there and you were.
Remember the Boston Symphony Choir and stuff?
Yeah, like it was just
yeah, that was a fun couple nights.
Yeah, so I liked that one. I like it when they do covers, and there was a ton of covers in that show, and we had done 95 as well, right, for New Year's.
Yep.
So I had known what a New Year's show was gonna be like. You knew you were getting the 3 sets, and you knew it was gonna have a theme. So I was excited to go, and I do think they came through. And being in Boston on New Year's Eve when it's freezing cold and having to navigate the city on New Year's Eve, it just felt like we got a ton out of that night.
Yeah, I mean, your stories, I remember, I haven't put in the work to try and track them down, but you saw them in 92, well before me.
Yeah.
And 93 as well. So, yeah, cool years for the band and a very different vibe in the scene. And I think that scene carries through to this show and kind of left after this show in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so. And in 1992, we were 15 years old.
Yeah.
So you wonder, like, how are these kids finding about this little tiny band from Vermont?
Right.
You're not even driving at that point. And for me, it was because my dear friend who I was at that show at Clifford Ball with was at a private school. And private school kids in New England were trading
hippies,
tapes and, doing the whole tape thing.
That's where you're part of why I'm into this band. And I remember moving back to New Hampshire in 93, having heard one album. And then we were looking at houses that we were buying and, going into different houses. And I remember being in the teenagers' rooms and there was always a Phish CD laying on a counter somewhere. And I was like, wow, this band's got more than that one album. And then that year, my junior year of high school, was the year that I got into it. And you were a big part of that. I just think probably by our senior year, I was pushing past you and my enjoyment and my love of it and my, like many things, I'm voracious in my appetite for them. So, but I do attribute you a lot to this podcast.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I think going to UVM too, I have a feeling that a part of my decision was Phish, just because I was riding the wave, right? Like it had been something that we really got into in high school. I was sticking with my best friend who was a way bigger, the one we've been talking about, Amanda, a much bigger Phish fan than any of us really. And so going into Burlington at that time, 95 to 99, like, you better know who Phish is. Like, what are you doing in Burlington? Yeah. What are you doing at Nectar's if you don't know? And they were past that. They didn't play Nectar's, I think, again, or maybe they did like one pop-up or something. but like I would see members of the band in Burlington. Like that's how Phish those years were there, and probably, you know, longer. But I just like
still are, I'm sure.
I would have had to like the band if I didn't, because look where I was when I was there.
Yeah.
So it's, and I think that honestly probably expedited my departure, because it was so, I mean,
intense.
There's not only like the students at the college, there was the Phish fans who came to Burlington just because it's where the band is from, and because there were shows there a lot in that area, you know, St. Mike's. I remember there was a Phish show there, and so it's just like, it was a lot. Yeah. It was a lot of Phish, and we liked other bands too, P.S., besides Phish. Yeah. So
what?
Matthews, unfortunately. I know, unfortunately. Even Sam liked Dave Matthews then.
Yeah.
Sure, me too.
Well, twice. Yeah.
So it's just like, it was a lot of one thing, and I think leaving that college, I think I kind of also left liking Phish. But at a good, I mean, I know you guys are getting to that era. Like, there was a good reason to not like Phish again by 2000. So
yeah, absolutely.
My timing was good.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thanks.
I think you did a great job on the podcast too. We both appreciate having you here.
Yeah, that was awesome, and I actually learned some stuff. And I always like when you kind of trace back. I always give Matt D, our friend Matt D, credit for, you know, hooking me onto Phish. But there was a guy before him who had played me Phish, and there's always a path. So in a way, you know, Sam was a big part of me taking that next leap. So in a way, you're kind of on that path as well. So thank you.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
It's a many-armed beast. Yeah.
A multi-beast, if you will.
Maybe. I was teeing you up.
Am I excused?
Yes, you are excused.
Thank you for doing that, Emily. That was great.
You're welcome. Have fun, guys.
Thank you. We will.
Okay, well, we've just had the great pleasure of having Emily to talk to us about her experience at the Clifford Ball. And now Sam and I are going to take a more in-depth look at just the music. But maybe not just the music. Night. I think something that I want to address just before we even get started on this conversation is that there is a DVD available of this show. And it is a beautiful package. I mean, it's wonderfully put together, and I think the production on it is great.
Seven DVD box set, 12 LP set. There was an MTV special. This was released as dinner and a movie, so everybody could watch it. It is out there.
Yeah, it's out there. But more importantly, it is beautifully done. I mean, it really is. Yeah. It does not capture the lights by any means. The lights are not captured. No. Aside from that, I think this is the best video in terms of capturing the band members themselves. Being able to see what's going on with their hands, with their gestures, with their communication with each other, facial expressions, lighting. It's all just top tier. And I listened to the show with just music. And I listened.
It sounds great.
And it sounds great. But then when I watch...
enjoy the way it's mixed.
When I watch the show, it's twice as good. It's like a totally different experience. So I almost feel like you can have a conversation about this two ways. I feel like this is an impeccable and incredibly important Phish experience if you're a Phish fan, if you're watching it. If you're just listening to it, we can have another conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I really enjoyed this. Yeah. And I went into it with low expectations. There's soundboards. The whole world can listen to this. I mean, I'm excited because I get to edit in soundboards because they were just leaked openly. You know, it was FM broadcast, so they're going to sound good. All the audio we put in here is going to be fun. I got to try and dig up some funny crowd stuff from that MTV thing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't know. There's just so much media about the show.
Right.
About both shows. But we're just going to discuss night one this episode and night two the next. And, you know, there's no headphones in the companion for this whole show, even though it gets the top 100 nod. So there's no seek it out, find it song. But, you know, coming off of what was a pretty hot summer in certain ways, but no huge standouts, as we discussed in the last episode, and coming before, as I mentioned, talking to Emily, what I think is the definitive shift in Phish, which is by late fall 96, Phish was doing what they would do until the hiatus. Right. It was an entirely new Phish. And yes, that would solidify in 97, but it started in 96, and the back end of fall 96 is some of the best playing the band ever did. So I hear that in this. The tightness, they are snappy, they are having a great time. There's a lot of subtle little details in the composition that are so impressive. And, you know, set 1 and 2 were just that. Really impressive. We can go through them. But I think the meat of this show is set 3. Mm-hmm. I think set 3 is a phenomenal set of music. Yes. I had forgotten how good it was. It flows in a beautiful way. The band it's the first set where Trey shuts the fuck up and the band listens to each other, and it's great.
Yeah.
So 2 sets of like Trey being on point and the whole band being on point, but Trey kind of playing the role of fired up, excited. I mean, it's the biggest show they ever played. Yeah. Like being the leader, it got a little old for me.
Right.
But it wasn't that any of the playing wasn't spectacular.
Right. I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. I think like in a way, it's tough going back sometimes because, you know, you go and you listen to this and it is hard not to acknowledge the total lack of jams. Everything is type 1. And like, I mean, it's not like they hadn't got there yet. We already went through 93 and 94 and 95. Yes. This is they made a conscious decision in 96 to kind of dial it back, everything tight, everything perfect, no huge jams. But even more so in this show, it seems to be that the band, and I'm guessing this, that could be refuted, but the band decided to make like a museum curated Phish exhibit. Like, I think that they wanted to look at these compositions. They're like, we've played them for years. This is its final form. It's not crazy, but it's just perfect. And in almost every one of these song performances, I thought to myself, wow, Fishman just played in a way that he just emphasized everything in such a perfect way that it could be a studio version. Yeah. For so many of these songs. And for there to be such a lack of jams, it almost seems like it had to have been on purpose. My other sort of argument in my head for the reason for no jams is that they do really well in situations where they're perfectly comfortable and there's no pressure. And I think this was a huge, big, distracting deal for them. And even though I think it was probably a peak moment of their life, and they are obviously so happy and glowing, in order to truly improvise, I do think you need to kind of forget that you exist and to be in the moment. And I could see how this being their first festival, that may have just been an impossibility. And we can get to that a little bit in the Flatbed Jam discussion later.
But also there is a lack of improvising, but there is not a lack of really good listening and professional chops, which for me, I think, you know, this line in the sand, I think Phish is trying to draw as well. And we can argue this as we move into fall 96 and then, you know, Europe 97, which is going to be fun as well. But they are shaking off some of the silly, shaking off some of the goofy. They are presenting clean, crispy, heartfelt. They're not pushing into dad rock yet, but the acoustic mini set is bordering on the Phish, you know, Phish that we hear now in some ways. Yeah. I love those songs, and they're really performed well. But there is something very conscious, I think, like you said, and no improvising. But also, there is a cocky swagger to this show that I had forgotten about just how goddamn tight they can be, how smooth the changes are, how and watching the video, as you said, these subtle little looks to the left and right and snap. They are into the next section of a song, clean as a whistle. And I mean, encoring with an a cappella song, like it in 70, you know, the size of this crowd has to feel just gargantuan compared to anything. And you can see it when they walk out there. The Trey's just ear to ear, just like, holy shit.
Right.
And of course, it's Chalk Dust Torture.
Yep.
Which makes sense. And I mean, it sounds so good. As you said, like, you know, I did some listening ahead of time, but then I sat down and I watched each set a separate night. Yeah. And it's magical. It really is. And the sound is crackling perfect. And Mike is up front in the mix and the drums, every little detail is clean. It's the things you normally don't hear, you really get to hear. Mm-hmm.
totally agree. And I think the set list, starting with Chalk Dust and the way they played was still appropriate for the fact that they're playing to, I don't know, I've heard 60, 70,000 people. Either way, I think that they figured a majority of these people maybe have never even seen the band before. They're playing.
Or maybe once.
They're playing to new fans. And I think they've always been pretty good about knowing that. And I think, anyway. Chalk Dust, smoking hot.
Yeah. There's so many notes in here. So good. Solid version. Yeah. Really well played. Super fun. Straightforward. Like, there's a lot of similar words. Like, the gin. Great.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah.
And then there's something about a summertime first set Yamar, too.
Yep.
I mean, come on. Like, perfect choices. They really, I bet you the band worked as a team a little on this set list. Like, they really wrought it out and put it all together, and they built 2 nights.
Right.
Which I think eventually they stopped doing for a number of reasons. I think they're backstage between every set critiquing, I didn't hear you. I need you to, I'm going to move you up in the monitors. Did you hear this? I thought this was a little like, this was real nitpicky Phish. Stuff they tried to get away from in 97.
Right.
To the detriment of the tightness, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I love this opening section to the set. I mean, the Yamar and then into the AC/DC bag, into the Esther.
Yeah.
So I know, we're talking Companion over here, but we've also got the Fishnet.
Yes.
We love all you guys. Thank you so much again.
Why do they call this the Clifford Ball Esther? What am I missing?
Yeah, I don't know. So this was
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it is great, actually. Except for those last 2 notes. I was gonna give it Esther's one of those things where you're listening to it and you're like, it's got to be perfect. If you're going to write a song like this, it's got to be perfect. And it was perfect until the very, very end when Trey is hitting his most delicate notes and just 2 sour ones. Doesn't ruin the whole version, no. But it does prevent it from getting a perfect asterisk.
Yeah,
Still,
I agree.
Awesome.
No gold star. Too bad.
And then it's Divided Sky, which I just watched the video of just before I walked in here to record with you, so I'm coming off a high, but that was awesome. I mean,
yeah, I wrote the pause must have felt so good, right? Like, that pause is, think about how many times they've held that pause in a big room.
Yeah,
holding that pause, just hearing that crowd and the power, the shaking of the earth.
Yeah. And then to be able to see the looks on
Wow.
their face, like clear as day as it's happening, is
Yes.
such a treat, because I love those guys so much, and I love to see them happy, and then it's contagious. I think that was the thing.
They're a little shy, almost. it's like a little naked up there during that.
So totally. But perfectly played again, like no sour notes or anything, and that's great. Then we go to the Haleys. Pretty rockin' Haleys.
It was short, but up tempo and fun.
Yeah, little shredding towards the end. And then we get to our first, I mean, I don't even think it's really a Type 2 Bowie. It's just a Type 1 Bowie. Classic kind of 96-ish deal. But I thought it was fantastic. I know I'm a little bit of a sucker for
it. It has
Bowie.
a ton of power. That was the first darkness of the whole show. Like this entire show was pretty light, pretty positive, pretty fun. And then this brought some evil.
Uh-huh.
And I think it like hints at what's, there's moments of evil in set 3 I really liked, but this kind of hints at some of it, and it was great.
Yeah.
Short, great.
Yeah, it's
powerful Bowie.
Not that short. I mean, I guess like 15 and a half minutes or whatever. But yeah, it's not super long.
Yeah.
It's just a standard. Yeah, it's kind of funny how you think, well, they're not noting specific performances of these songs, but then when you listen to them, you're like, I think they were just playing with a level of consistency. And I say consistency in that it was just always great at the same level, where maybe when we go back to 95 or 94 or 97, they're bigger jumps of quality.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, give that a shot.
I mean, I may go back and listen to this Bowie again. It sounds so fantastic. And, any song from this show, if you're like, I just want to hear a really nice, tight, super well-played version that I can find little bits and pieces that make me smile in, all of these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great
Really
point.
great first set. I mean, if I was at this show, I would have been ecstatic, right?
Yeah.
Just ecstatic.
The sun
Like,
had
what,
just
we
gone down. It was like literally sunset, pretty sunset right now, just going to go down. Yeah,
We've got 5 more sets of this. This is insanity. I don't have to go anywhere for 2 days. Yeah, just a dream.
And an unheard of dream. It's like not even something that had happened before. It's something that you're like,
yeah,
this is like our Woodstock, man. And you know what it was?
Yeah.
It was their Woodstock.
Yeah, it sure was.
Kudos to all of you.
Sure was. And not the bird from Peanuts, but the festival. That was a pretty bad joke. So set 2 is what rubs me a little bit from the show.
Okay.
I don't know. I think this split falls a little flat.
Agreed.
I think it's got a lot of weight on its shoulders, and I think it collapses a little under the weight.
Mm-hmm.
I know why they put it there. I don't know. How did you feel?
Yeah, I
about
agree.
it?
I think it's the weak point of the set. In that expectations were high. Leaving it with the Bowie, they're coming back set 2, sun is down. They're gonna get weird with the split.
Yeah.
And it's fine, but it's
fine.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't go back for a re-listen, and considering the splits of 94.
And then to Sparkle.
Right.
Like, for me as a fan, I'm getting a little ouch. And Free being a new song.
Right.
This one was cool.
Yeah,
They must have felt good at that size. The big angular, like, wow, wow, wow. Like, the percussive thing.
Totally. I really like the Free. I agree. My note was that perfect for a huge audience.
Yeah, and they're getting used to, they're going to be playing bigger audiences from here on out. And really great choice there. I think, that would have gotten me up again.
Right.
And then I thought this Sparkle was also really, the Coil was really, really well played.
Yes, it was. That was great. Love the Coil. What if they just removed the split? Opened with Sparkle, Free, Squirming Coil.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
When are we?
Give me something else.
Okay, cool.
At the end or something. Tack me on something after the week, Paul. I don't know.
I'm just going to wait for you to prompt me when we're going to have the discussion about why Yem wasn't played. We'll do it whenever. Whenever you're ready to talk about it, you poke me and then we can talk about it.
Okay, I will. We'll do it next show.
Okay.
Definitely do it next show. But yeah, the energy that would have happened if it was set opening Yem or the Yem came after this week of Paul, yes.
Yeah.
And then the mini acoustic set, which, I got to see one at Red Rocks. We discussed this set basically exactly the same in the last episode in 39 from the summer. And it's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's fine.
All of it's fine. I don't know if there's any standouts. I think it's bold.
Yeah, it's fun. You want to hear some acoustic Phish? Boom. There it is.
a few companions on this ride.
And it's beautifully recorded. Yeah. It's nice hearing, you know, it's fun. Would I have liked all of these songs electric better? Yeah. Yeah, I would have. But I still, like I said, this is the demarcation. This is Phish saying, hey, we've got this. We're close to home. This is how we play music together a lot. We like some, like, simply, you know, it's also kind of a nod to, like, those Grateful Dead acoustic sets that used to be so cool.
Definitely.
And, I don't know that Phish wants to pull out a full set of acoustic music, but I think this was a really fun thing this summer and a nice stamp on the night.
And I think that there is something to be said for, you know, Emily kind of alluded to it before, but at this point in their career, not that it isn't true at any point of their career, but it's a lot of guitar solos. So when you can kind of like mix it up for 3 or 4 songs with an acoustic guitar solo, I think, you know.
Or, you know, a piano solo. And
it's not invaluable. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is a palate cleanser, a change of pace. And I do like how Coil allows them the chance to kind of pull Page's piano out of the way and wheel this big stage. They actually roll a stage out,
right?
Which, you know, is you get to watch in the show, which is really nice. And then they roll it away during Hello My Baby, and they set all the equipment back up and get everything ready. This is a big, I mean, props to the stage crew, because this is a big move.
Yeah.
And it's pulled off real clean. I don't notice anything falling. I don't see anyone in chaos.
Yeah.
Seems like this is the part of the show they're dreading. Everyone's cool. And then like, all right, take all our equipment away and wheel this little stage out and then pull. It's like a, you know, it's a Broadway move.
It is.
A set change.
And I also think something that occurred to me is that, you know, if it's, let's say they just did like a 15, 20-minute jam there, you know, instead of that, in terms of like the way you feel about the show when it's all done, it feels much bigger and more substantial, like a more substantial meal with this, because it kind of separates the set 2 into almost like 3 sets. And then you've got the additional set before and after, and it almost becomes like a bigger experience, even if they're a bit of throwaway songs. Anyway, just my random thought.
6 sets is a lot. I get it. You want to have some diversity too, you know, and it does throw a lot of diversity in there. So I don't know that there's re-listen value, but if you're watching the DVD, don't skip it.
Yeah, totally. And then so we get to Hello My Baby, and then we get to our Mike's Groove sandwich.
Yeah. Let's I don't know. I feel like this whole thing is both the Trey show and the Ripcord show all the way through this Mike's sandwich. I think, you know, the Mike's is a little too aggressive out of the gate, and you're like, okay. And the first jam is long but goes nowhere. Great playing, but it doesn't do anything. And then the second jam kind of tries a little bit. And then it's the transition to simple, which is fine.
Right.
And then the simple, you're like, okay. It's like the tempo is like beautiful. It's bubbly. It's happening. You're like, this is one of the best parts of the show up until this moment.
Right.
and then yanks the ripcord into Contact. And Contact is fine.
Yeah.
And then the Weekapaw, which is fine. But, you know, I Trey is shredding really hard in the Weekapaw.
Yes.
And Paige is keeping right up with him, which I enjoyed. I liked there was like a challenge there. It's like, if you're going to do this.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of a breakdown after Trey's solo, which is pretty sick. But then they just like drop out and say the thank yous. I don't know. There's a bunch of weird... I would think if they're backstage after this Weekapaw, there's like, guys, we just fucking sucked.
Oh.
Like, I don't know. I got a weird vibe by the end. Like, they were all playing well.
Yeah.
They just weren't listening and connecting really well.
Okay.
I don't know.
You know, this is the
I had some issues.
This is the one section of the show that I actually didn't watch, that I just listened to. And I agree on the mics. I think, especially considering some of the mics we've heard recently, this one doesn't fully get there, though it tries, and it is high energy. And if you love,
It's
all
high energy.
and if you, this is the thing about Trey, is that like, especially at this point, you can listen to him wank on guitar, and it just kind of flows over you. But when you watch his fingers on the video, your brain goes, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Look at what this guy
great.
is
It really
doing with his fucking fingers. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, it doesn't really go anywhere. But if you're watching the video, it's pretty freaking sweet to watch his fingers go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, there is parts though where the band, and that's part of the video. You know, they're taking the sheets off here, and you're seeing everything.
Yeah.
There's parts where the band's kind of going, "Hey man, like let's all pay attention here. Like there's some like weird, I don't know, I get a weird vibe." And I think the ripcord out of Simple really hurt me.
It always does. Ripcords and Simple are painful.
Yeah.
I
wanted it to go on for like half an hour.
There's been many.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's my one song that I always want to kind of go on forever. Especially in frickin' 96. Come on.
Yeah, which is like the year of simples. And they did a lot of simples that went on forever this year and went to some weird places. So yeah, again, the no big jam show.
Look, I'm not saying Trey has ADHD, but I do think that he's got some tendencies where, you know, he's highly creative and he's all over the place. And I'm going to stand by this as being one of those moments where I think his brain was just like, I got nothing. Let's just move on.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, you know, because it does seem like that happened a few times in the show. And it does seem unusual that you would cut Simple in this place. But it was beautiful while it lasted. I did enjoy the Contact.
It was gorgeous.
It was fun. I guess it's a fun sing-along for the new people that are like, oh, finally something catchy. It seems like that was...
And the arms was cool.
Yeah.
You know, all the big... Seeing that many people waving their arms together is a...
There was a lot of audience interaction, huh? It was really cool.
Yeah, there really was.
And then the Weekapaw was a shredder, and I'm a sucker for... I don't care if it's just the same thing over and over again forever. So that's all good to me.
It was fine. The Simple and the Weekapaw were both fine.
Yeah.
And like I said though, the breakdown at the I really liked how sick it was, and there's little winks at what's coming with Weekapaw.
Space out here. We're going to be playing a lot longer, so make sure you go get something to drink, have a good time. We'll be back in about 40 minutes or something, or 30 minutes probably. Thanks a lot, you guys. This is great. We really appreciate everything. It's just such a good time, man. And you guys are making it happen. Thank you.
But then the thank yous were just weird. It was a weird insert of where it was in, I don't know. That can happen a lot where they want to say thank you to the audience, but it's also a great part because Trey is stepping back for a minute and thinking like, all right, I'm going to say thank you. And what am I going to say? And during those 8 or 16 bars, the rest of the band's like chewing on the scenery a little. And you're like, ooh, this is getting really good.
Yeah.
And then it's the thank yous. It's very weird. Anyway, it ends the set. I think it's a little disjointed, that set.
Right.
It is. It's okay. Just a little disjointed.
Like the middle child. Yeah.
Hey. But that does bring us to what I think is the best set of the show, which is this third set. Okay. I think the band talked. I think they hugged. I think they got whatever was in front of them out of the way. They realized it's their night, and they came out right off the rip. And I think this entire set is just solid business top to bottom.
Agreed.
T to B.
I think it's one of the CDs that I listened to the most because it sounded great. We had soundboards of it.
Yeah. And
it just has this flow where it's like, where are you going to stop it? It just goes. You don't stop it.
No, it flows beautifully together.
Yeah.
And the Makasupa opener, very auspicious, very like cool choice.
Yeah.
The little mini drum kit break is really cool. And the Mr. Sausage.
Yeah. Did you do research on that? Was there like a vendor called Mr. Sausage or something? Or...
I don't know. Did no research.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's really funny.
Maybe there was, and they could see it right from the stage, like off to the right. There was a truck that just said Mr. Sausage. I don't know. All of our fans, this is when you write in and let us know about Mr. Sausage because we missed it. But I thought it was hilarious.
It is hilarious, and it's really well done. Into the 2001, and super playful 2001. They're definitely getting that swing and that groove, and it's building to what it's...
But it had to be beautiful too in that big space, like the lights that like that glow.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it doesn't at this period. It doesn't have like, when you get to 97 and 98, it has like an ominous kind of feel to it until it gets to the actual dance party. But this, like, just from the get-go, it just had swing. Like, it was a happy 2001. Like, as soon as it started, I was like, my shoulders were moving, and I'm like, oh, we're doing this. All right.
And the band was having a great time. Yeah. Like, that was part of this whole set was Trey was laying back a little, and the band was just having a great time.
We got a segue, and we got all arrows, and no contesting from Sam over here.
Nope. This is clean as can be.
That into Down with Disease. Nice 14-minute Down with Disease, I believe.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. I liked almost all of it. I love 96 Down with Disease. Yeah. But right away, like I had a lot of notes. I called it it's finally the four-headed monster jam. Like they were finally listening. They were finally doing what they're supposed to do. And Trey would have something to say and then get out of the way. Mm-hmm. And it was so, like, it made me so happy. And you could see the band on stage consciously focusing really hard and just crushing it. love when Paige kind of breaks everything down, and I thought it was going to go really out there, and it falls apart a little bit, but then it comes out with this, I don't know, it was very Who-esque kind of rock section at the end.
Yeah, it's got a little funky though, a little bit of groove to it.
And then Mike has this really cool part. Like, everybody had a part.
Yeah.
I thought Paige had a part. I thought Mike had a part. I thought it was there's a lot of sharing the love, and it was just a really fun Down with Disease.
Yeah.
And if you look at, the great Went Down with Disease is lauded on as all these great things, and I was there. It was great. But I would have taken this one too. This is really fun. I loved it.
I mean, I like this, but the great Went Down with Diseases.
Oh, yeah, I know. But this still was, based on what I'd heard through the show, it was great.
Yeah, no, it is.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, and then into NICU.
It's an arrow, but this is a rough transition. I get the arrow, but this one hurt a little bit.
Yeah. There's been better transitions into NICU.
Yes.
AKA 12194. Go check it out.
Every time.
I'm gonna get that recommendation in so many times. Yeah, and then it was a standard NICU, but very fun, and I think perfect mood and for the set. And then we get to Life on Mars, which I just want to take a second here. God damn, was this beautifully played? I mean, the vocals are damn near perfect. All the dynamics, I think, are right on the money. Perfect song choice. I was almost moved to tears listening to it, truthfully.
Yeah.
It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair, 'cause her mommy is yelling no, and her daddy has told her to go, but her friend is nowhere to be seen. Now she walks through a sunken dream to the seat with the clearest view, and she's hooked to the silver screen. But the film is a saddening bore, 'cause she's lived it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes of fools as they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. It's a freaky show. Take a look at the old man beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if he'll ever know he's in the best-selling show. Is there life on Mars? It's on America's tortured brow. Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow. Now the workers have struck for fame, 'cause Lennon's on sale again. See the mice in their million hordes, from Ibiza to the Norfolk Broads. Rule Britannia is out of bounds, to my mother, my dog, and clowns. But the film is a saddening bore, 'cause she's lived it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes of fools as they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. It's the freakiest show. Take a look at the old man beating up the wrong guy.
Yeah, I remember I got to see the first one at Red Rocks, and I was so shocked.
Yeah.
And they played it a number of times in '96. I think I got to see like 3 maybe, and every time it moves you to tears.
Yeah.
It is incredible, and I love the handoff of the vocals because Trey can't get up there and Paige can.
Yeah.
Beautifully done, and there's ripping guitar lines, and it's really it was beautiful. And on that stage, I thought, what year was it? 2017, 18 for Halloween when they covered David Bowie.
Yeah.
I appreciated it. It was real bad, and this is real good. So it feels like a beautiful nod to David.
Yeah.
And really well done. A bunch of outer space theme in this set. The 2001, the Life on Mars. It was great.
Definitely a space set. I believe we've talked about this. As far as the Life on Mars go, I think I just want to point out that you kind of mentioned the guitar playing, but at the end when it goes like goes all the way down the scale. I remember hearing that on the album the first time and just being like, wow, who's that guitar player? Mick Ronson?
Yeah.
Wow, that guy's good. And that's not guitar.
Yeah.
That's not an album. Trey must have practiced that shit so many times. And he nailed it.
Yeah.
Give him an award. no joke.
He grew up worshiping guys like Mick Ronson.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that's what when you're you're a good band when you're mimicking your idols and you're actually you're not improving on it, but you're playing with it.
You're playing with it.
You're not just executing it.
In front of 70,000 people for the first time you're doing it. Yeah. Impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they earn their Harry Hood blowout.
Yeah. Which is really well played. It was great.
And it is a blowout.
Classic, fun, really well done.
Yeah, I mean, it explodes at the end.
Doesn't end.
Right into a fireworks jam.
Which is, visual. It's not for us.
Sure, but it is cool to listen to, I think.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. It's really great.
Sam's not agreeing to the listen to, but he is agreeing to the watch, just to take note.
Still listen to it. But when it starts to break down at the end, it's fine.
I like to think of the fireworks as an additional rhythm track.
Yeah. There it is. It's like thunder.
And then we finish it all off with a little Amazing Grace.
Yeah, like I said, the balls to do a cappella at the end of this is something else.
Do you think it's because they knew they were going to play an additional set, or just like...
No, I think they're just capping a great set of music.
Yeah.
I think it was a real, we love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess you already did the fireworks. It's not like you're going to do another guitar solo after fireworks. I mean,
You don't have to end it. Yeah. I said, the Sans rough transition into NICU. Perfect set of music.
Right.
Really, up there with just a good... I didn't look at the timing, but it's probably one of those 50-minute sets of music. But it's just clean, slick, smooth, tight, perfect. And you just throw that on I got to go drive down to Boston today. I'm just going to play this whole thing.
Yeah,
finish it before you get there.
It's 59 minutes. And I did. I used to work at a job that was a half an hour drive each way, and I used to listen to the first half on the way there and the second half on the way home.
It's perfect.
And I also used to listen to this the AC/DC bag through Esther run quite a bit as well at the beginning.
Yeah, that's fun.
So we've done the show. Turns out, as Emily mentioned earlier in the podcast, they drove on a flatbed truck around the campgrounds at about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning.
Let's discuss flatbed.
What's that?
Let's discuss flatbed. Yeah, I don't know. There is, maybe I'll cut the snippet in here at some point, but I know that MTV video, Trey says it's one of the highlights of his entire musical career. Mm-hmm. That, driving through there, they built a city sort of out there, and all these people came to see them, and it's the middle of the night, and they're just cruising around playing on the back of a flatbed for, 40 minutes. It's long. Didn't they release a vinyl, limited vinyl
it's
copy
on Live
of this
Phish.
or something
It's
too?
3707.
I also recommend people go listen to some of the audio recordings of it from tapers who are, running along or walking next to the... First off, man, I know it's exciting to capture audio of the band and stuff, and you just got to listen at that point. But It's really funny to hear the people talking around the tapers
Yeah.
because there's some funny shit being said. What's your 2-word description
Well,
of this?
musically, there's nothing for me here. I mean, I think it's an absolutely incredible idea. I think the first time
You texted me Noodle Fest.
yeah. I said,
Which,
this
yes.
is what people don't like about Phish. It's just aimless noodling for the sake of aimless noodling, and that's great for the moment. That's what they were doing. They were just driving around. There was no point in it having any structure of it starting a place and ending a place because nobody was hearing it like that. So all they had to do was just kind of create an ambient soundscape that sounded fishy as they move, and that was what the goal was. And I absolutely can understand why this was a highlight for Trey, because fuck man, he's created a city, and now he's being driven around the city as he brings his magic to the city. I mean, it's very ego-fulfilling, and
It's very Pied Piper.
yeah, and it's awesome.
Or,
Let the Prince of Guitar have it. Great. But
have you listened in depth to the late night set from the first night of The Great Went? There was a 40 to 50 minute jam, like a secret fourth set.
I don't know that I have listened to that
Went.
in a while. I know the Lemon Wheel, went pretty good. Yeah. How was the Went one? I know the Tower Jam.
It's one of those where I don't listen to it much. Yeah. I believe that show is on this list, so we may have to be. I will re-listen then. I remember I've listened a couple times since I was there, but being there, we all just laid down.
Yeah.
And when the band came back out hours after the third set ended, there was no lights. They just came out, and there were some candles on stage and stuff, but there was no lights. And they just improvised for a stretch of time and then left.
Okay.
So I think it was the flatbed truck, but for everybody and not moving. And the band had all their shit. So they had all their gear, all their toys, all their stuff. And it was life-changing in the moment.
Right.
And one of those, going back and listening doesn't quite do it justice. So maybe this is that for the people that were walking with this truck.
Yeah.
Maybe that was, Emily said she heard it because it was hard to sleep. Maybe it was just ambient background noise for people sleeping.
Right.
Maybe it was ambient background noise for people who were up late, having fun, a little buzzed, a little drunk, thinking about going to bed, and then they just hear a truck go by with a band on it. And they're like, that was wild.
Right.
It's a very cool idea, very cool experience, and I don't know that it's meant to be sat and listened to with headphones on, laying down on the ground.
No, I don't think so. And back to this type of jam is an art form in itself. And and even though they had these sort of semi-structured tweezers and whatnot in 94, fall 94, and summer 95, this is a little bit of a different beast because there isn't a song to play with. It's just they're going out and they're doing an Okipa ceremony. They're going out and they're just doing a jam session, and they got really good at it over the years. And this is just like the first one. So no judgment, but I'm not going back and listening to it. It's not like you said before when we were talking about the actual show. When I listen to this jam, I'm like, you guys aren't listening to each other. At least not a lot of the times. I mean, sometimes they were. Other times it just felt very disjointed.
They're just each painting with some colors of what they're seeing rather than... I think they're wrapped up in the moment rather than focused.
Right.
And that's okay. I think it was for the moment, which is why all these like official releases and, vinyl pressings and stuff seem a little strange to me.
Right.
But anyway, way to go, band.
Yeah.
Like still an awesome thing. And a capper on what is a pretty cool show. So as far as the list goes, we'll dig into the second show if we're going to drop one of these at the end of show 2. Maybe we pick one of them. But I thought that this was a lot of fun. It's a good night of Phish and a really incredible experience to be a part of for everyone that was there, both from what it sounds like from my wife, but also her name's Emily, but also from others that it seems like were there. And I think that all these people behind the Phish Companion were there.
Yeah,
it was a real rite of passage for Northeast Phish kids, and I just happened to leave the Northeast and be in California. So,
my wife Susie was asking all about why was Emily there and Sam wasn't there, and then she was like, "Tell me how Sam grew up again," and I had to explain your whole coastal trajectory.
Yeah. Oh, I'm bi-coastal.
I do want to say before we just jump on, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, please.
Speaking of my wife, Susie, she did recently say that she thinks that the ambient set from Mondegrain should be one of the highlights of Phish's career, and thinks it might be musically one of the most interesting things she's heard them do. And I think that's because she had like a super hard day at work and was really wiped out, and she was like sitting on the couch, and I just kind of like threw it on. And then with the visuals, have you watched it, Sam? With the visuals, no. She was just like, oh my god, this is like unbelievable, because it's so ambient and relaxing, and the visuals are just chef's kiss.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah, if you're like just like wiped out and just need a little very soft and calming musical exorcism, man, Secret Set, Mondegrain, it's your shit. YouTube, go get it.
That sounds nice. I'm into it. Might do that tonight.
Nice.
Sounds nice. Well, the exact opposite of that. We, even though these are big 3-set shows, I'm kind of trying to find little ways to not say goodbye to Summer 96. So Ian and I just did a quick little re-listen, some spot listens of what is known as the Third Ball, which is hilarious in its own right.
Yeah, it is.
But Phish took basically half a year off. They closed New Year's 95, and they, beyond Jazz Fest in April, they did not play again until June in the summer. And they were recording what I believe is possibly one of their best records, if not their best, Billy Breathes. They were excited. They were up in Woodstock, New York, recording. And on 6/6/96, they kind of loosely leaked that they would be playing this tiny little club, Joyous Lake, in Woodstock. And it's basically like a house bar. There's a photo of it that's pretty cool to see. It's about 300 people could smush in there. And they played a two-set bar gig.
Yeah.
And broadly, I remember getting these tapes and I had heard about it. You know, I was very plugged into the Phish scene at this point, like on message boards, and it was still fledgling internet, but you were on there. And I was very excited hearing about it, and I was dying to get the recordings. And there were soundboards. Someone patched in and got the recordings, and I felt the same way then as I did this time, just ungodly disappointed.
Yeah.
Like I thought, there's some highlights as well.
Yeah.
But for me, the highlights were set 1 closing Highway to Hell, set 2 closing Sample in a Jar, and the second encore of Hendrix's Fire. Because it was straight up just bar rock and roll.
Yeah.
And they were crushing. Like, they were just having fun playing together. Yeah. And when they did like Stash and Yam and they're improvising, it didn't land.
Yeah, it didn't really gel because they were playing in a bar. And it did kind of make me think of that kind of moniker that they said, the Phish is the greatest bar band in the world. Or, we've said that on occasion too. And on this night, they definitely weren't that. Like some of this stuff was just straight sloppy. I think probably because they were drinking and just having a good time. But you're right. When they did, I liked the Chalk Dust Torture too. When they kind of like took off on like a rock and kind of run, it was amazing. And the thought of seeing that in a bar would have been overwhelmingly incredible.
Oh my God.
Just wow.
This Highway to Hell, I would have been just like fist in the air. Like it was,
or even Son of a Mule,
and Character Zero was cool
or something. But some of it was a real mess.
Leave me be. Send your loving girl off my
yeah, it was just fun, and being there would have been fun. But it's also like we're not going to get Amsterdam '97,
No.
and that's what I wanted, and I didn't know I wanted it, but that's what I wanted, and I would get it. I don't know, a year later,
Yeah,
so I'm fine.
just
I'm all good.
several months later, you're going to be getting it.
Yeah, but this was not. It's really cool. It's very cool, and I was so jealous of everyone that got to go. I've always dreamed of seeing Phish in a bar.
Yeah.
And they are the ultimate bar band.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realize is when I see them in a bar, I want them to play bar rock.
Right.
I would like to see Phish do nothing but cover songs for 2 sets
Right.
in a bar with, 150 other people just drinking.
It's something
Like
that is,
CCR covers and
it's often mentioned in that How Music Works books by David Byrne about how certain music is created for certain venues. Classical
Yes.
music is made for classical venues. You can't do it in other venues. And I think, Split Open and Melt and Theme from the Bottom and You Enjoy Myself and Stash are meant for theaters. Or at least they were at this time, and they were figuring out how to bring them to arenas. And they were I guess they had figured it out at this point. But
Yeah,
I still
definitely.
think those songs are best in a theater.
yeah. So go for the short and sweet. And it's fun. Everyone should listen to this show. It's super fun.
I don't know. I don't
But
know
it
if I
does
agree with
feel
that.
like
Well, you and I don't. We
Nah.
don't disagree enough. So I'm going to take this opportunity to
Yeah.
disagree with you and say you don't need to listen to the show.
yeah. Or just listen to The Highway to Hell and nothing else.
Well,
It sounds good. I'll give it that.
it does. It does sound.
It sounds good.
That's true. Well, what else?
All right,
What
well,
else is
that's-
going on? Is this a long episode? Where are we at?
It's probably long. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. We had a guest. That was pretty cool.
we did have a guest. Is there anything else going on in the Phish world for you, or the music world? Anything you want to talk about?
Nothing much.
No.
Like I told you earlier, pre-recording, I'm sadly a friend invited me to go see them Sunday, and I'm not going, which is a bit of a bummer. But life is still a little too busy. I can fit in the podcast.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Music-wise, I've been a little meh lately.
Okay.
Like I kind of got excited that Leon Bridges put out another record, and it was not good.
Oh, that's too bad.
And it's been a little bit of that. It's like I'm like, ooh, exciting, and then I also thought the new MJ Lenderman record is okay,
Right.
but it I didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was okay, but I wasn't on first listen. Wasn't blown away. I'll give it another shot.
Yeah.
I will send you. I believe I gave a shout out on our last podcast to the gentlemen DJs that made the playlist for Mondegreen. But I did work my way through that entire playlist, which took me several weeks, and I pulled out all of the songs that I listened to that I felt were really great, either mix or at the very least re-listen worthy. And I have a mix for you that is 12 hours and 37 minutes long, and I'll be sending that to you.
Yeah. You sent it
No,
to me.
I just
yesterday?
sent you my God mix.
Oh, different.
And that was only 4
Oh,
hours.
okay.
That was only 4 hours. This one's 12 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Spot.
Good. I'm ready for all of it. Hit me.
It's kind of crazy to be there to make a 12-hour mix on Spotify. But I think the Mondegreen guys, I want to say theirs was like 40 or 50 hours or something. So, but that's a really good percentage. I pulled out like 25% of the songs I thought were
Wow.
really great.
Yeah,
that's
a lot.
fucking good ass DJing. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, we should. I don't think we can just leave our lives. We've built these busy lives, but I would say 30-year-old you and me should really get pulled into doing this kind of stuff professionally, shouldn't we?
Our next life, Sam.
Because yeah, that would have been fun.
We're lucky to be having this conversation, as most Phish fans have said, at one time or another in their lives. God, I feel so grateful to have been alive at a time when Phish was playing. And as much as I love the Grateful Dead, and as much as I love the 60s, and I would have loved to have seen Woodstock and the Monterey Pop Festival, I would choose to be alive when Phish was playing. So I'm gonna try and leave this podcast with an air of gratitude, and say that we're living in the best possible timeline, except for this election coming up. But we're gonna be okay, I hope.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But maybe. I get to sleep next to someone who was at the Clifford Ball every night. So, it's a small world.
Yep.
It's nice. Well, thank you, everybody. This was super fun, and we will be back real soon with episode 41, the next night of this show, or of this festival. And then we're going to be done with this beautiful summer of 1996, year of our Lord, 1996, and be moving into 97. Or I'm sorry, fall 96.
Fall 96.
And it's sad. Summer 96 was a special moment in my life and a special time, and just a real nice time to be alive and to be on planet Earth and to be a Phish fan. So it's been, watching the videos especially, really nice way to relive it.
Definitely. Well, it was a pleasure.
We were all so young.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, we were all so young. That's all.
Oh, we were young. I was just looking at some pictures from the 90s. Goodness. I am aging. Well, that was a great conversation. Really enjoyed it. Thank Emily again for joining us. And
of course.
Yeah, maybe my wife Susie will come on one day to talk, but I mentioned to Sam and Emily earlier that she knows I love Phish so much that every now and then she makes a comment and it hits me the wrong way. And she, I don't know if any of you Phish guys out there or Phish girls out there have spouses that can relate, but it's a delicate balance sharing your life with a partner and this band.
Maybe we get the My Wife Hates Phish guy on some episode of the podcast here, and we can actually hear what that's really about.
It's a delicate balance to love a thing this much. Okay.
Yeah, and if you want her on, we can good cop, bad cop, and I'll be the nice guy. So
she's generally nice.
That would be great.
She has a cutting sense of humor every now and then, and I'm a delicate guy. Anyhow, all right. Till next time. Here we come, Clifford Ball Part 2.
Hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companion2thecompanion@gmail.com.